guys, welcome back to my 10 Magic. I'm here with Dan from England.
Hi everyone.
Hi Dan, how are you doing?
I'm very well. Sunday morning, as good as I can be for a Sunday morning.
Yeah. So tell me, do you live here or you are just visiting?
Well, that's a good question. So I've been visiting Mexico for 4 years. So I keep returning, but obviously I don't have residency here. So I have to leave and then I'll go explore. And then usually after I've left Mexico for 1 or 2 months, I feel this like energy to return. So I found myself since 2018 coming and going and coming and going. Maybe one day I'll live here forever.
What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a journalist. I'm a photographer. I write about photography and I also write about technology. I've been doing that for about 6 years, and in that time I've been a digital nomad, traveling and digital nomad life. And yeah, so I'm lucky I get to work from my laptop, write my articles, send them off, get some money, and keep living the life really.
Yeah, you enjoy traveling while you are working, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that I did maybe 4 or 5 years ago, or 3 years ago even. But now as I'm getting older, the pace of just moving around all the time it's tiring, to be honest with you. It's great, but it's tiring. So I'm kind of at a stage now, nearly in my mid-30s, where I want to kind of just maybe put some roots down somewhere, settle down, slow life down, and see where that's going to be. Maybe here, Mexico.
What do you like most about Mexico?
I don't think that it's difficult to say what do I like most, because it's like, for me, having experienced quite a lot of countries, it's what gives you the best combination and the best balance of everything. And I guess that's what Mexico gives me is, I know it's cliche, but you've been to London, it rains, it's cold,
Yeah.
So just being in a different country where it's blue skies most of the time, that makes me happy. And I really like the culture in Mexico. I like the people. I like the energy, the vibe, the cities, the architecture. I've been exploring Mexico now for 4 years, and I still feel like there's just so much more to see. It's such a huge country, right? So, yeah, it's just like the collective energy of the country, the food. That makes it a great place to be.
So, something you don't really like about Mexico? Or that you wanna to change?
I mean, hey, listen, I as a foreigner, I don't like to come in and be like, hey, I wish this would change or that would change, because, culturally, what's maybe wrong for me is right for another culture, and different, vice versa. What's right for me may be wrong for the people of Mexico. That said, if it was just a bit quieter late at night, if like at 2 a.m. there wasn't a party with screaming and music. But maybe I'm an old man now. Maybe that's a reflection of me rather than the people. Maybe 5 years ago I'd have loved that, but yeah, just a bit quieter, but not much. I wouldn't change much.
So, rugby, soccer, cricket, golf were all invented in England.
Yes.
So, how popular is Formula One right now? Because, at the moment, Hamilton is from England, and
yes.
it's in the Formula One.
That's correct.
We have Sergio Perez.
Yes.
So, tell me.
Formula One. Hey, it's Formula One's always been part of the culture. Many, many years ago, we had a guy called Nigel Mansell. He had this mustache, and, he was like big in the 80s and 90s. So we've always had someone to support in Formula One. Personally speaking, I don't really like it. It's not for me. I'm more into rugby. Well, football is number one. I have an addiction to that. Probably an unhealthy addiction.
Which team do you support?
Leeds United Football Club.
It's the best for you.
It's the best for everyone.
Okay.
It's the best for everyone. For you, for the cameraman, for those people right here. But no, of course, you know, it's my city where I'm from. So it's more of like there's no rational reason to support them because they give me more heart failure than anything. But it's just a love for my city, and my dad loves it, and my dad got me into it, and my brother's into it. So it's just, yeah, it's a passion, maybe an addiction.
Yeah, I understand because, well, in my case, my favorite team is La Chivas.
Okay. Yeah.
From here, yeah. So, yeah, you just want that your team all the time wins. So
yeah.
it's amazing. I feel that vibe. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
My friends love Formula One though. My best friends are American. In Mexico, they're living well, they go to and from America and here, United States. They love Formula One, and they tried when the football season stopped, and we were like, well, what do we do? You know, they tried to get me to watch the Formula One, but it's just a bit too repetitive.
But it's exciting.
But
no, don't you find it exciting?
You tell me, why is it exciting? Why does it excite you?
Because you know you have to drive at high speed, so of course you have to avoid to crash.
Yeah.
So for me it's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
I accept it.
And now that we have Sergio Perez in Formula One, I think it's getting popular here in Mexico.
Yeah,
So everybody wants to know more about Formula One.
Yeah, that's fair. And you know, it's a highly skilled sport. I mean, to drive a car that quickly, and you're right. You know, people are risking their lives because you know, a split second.
Yeah, one crash and
I don't know. I just love the football. Tennis as well, kind of, but mainly football.
Yeah, I like football as well. The British love tea. So, what do you prefer? Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Why?
Yeah, 100%. I've never
Really?
I don't mind tea, so it's all right, I guess. But for me, I don't like. If I'm gonna, my first drink in the morning, coffee. You know, get the brain going, and then on an evening, I'll drink like tea manzanilla, chamomile tea. So, but the standard British tea, nah, I'm all right.
But how do you prepare the British tea?
I mean, it's really not complicated. Like, you just boil some water. I mean, most people take it like you have a tea bag. You just put tea bag in the cup, pour some water. If you like milk, some milk. If you like sugar, sugar. That's it.
But what's the common? Green tea, black tea?
Black tea.
Black tea?
Yeah, English tea is black tea. If you drink green tea in England, you're very flamboyant. You know, it's like, oh, exotic, eh? But maybe not as much now. But you know, we've become more open-minded. But yeah, the traditional tea is black tea with milk.
And by the way, it's so popular the full English breakfast.
Okay, yeah.
What ingredients does it have?
So you got bacon, sausage, salchicha, egg, tomato. You'd have like tomato juice with like tomatoes in it.
Mushrooms?
If you're weird, yes, but for me, no mushrooms. But yes, mushrooms, chips. Which is,
of course.
Not the
all
American
the
version of chips, the papas.
Yeah, I know. Different.
And black pudding. Black pudding's very popular. Do you know what black pudding is?
Yes.
Pigs. For those that don't, because I imagine some people might watch this and maybe like, what the hell is black pudding? It's dried pig's blood. So the blood of a pig. You dry it up, you fry it, you serve it, you eat it.
Sometimes, so you guys add beans as well, right?
Oh God, yes, baked beans. Yeah.
Yes, when I was there, yeah, yeah.
It's been so long since
that ingredient very is very important.
You tried it?
Yeah,
of
course.
It? Yeah.
Yeah. no, yeah, it's tasty.
Once a week, it's maybe, or once a month, it's a good idea, but you can't eat that every day, you know, because you'll have a heart attack. It's bad for you. So
when I travel to England, I noticed that you guys have a lot of accents, and I can hear different languages all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
So everybody was speaking different language.
Yes.
So I was, am I in England? Or what happened? Because everybody was speaking another language. So Chinese,
Yeah.
French, Portuguese,
Yeah.
German. So
Well, I think that's one of the great things about England is, well, depending on who you ask, some people don't like it, some people do. But we're a very multicultural country. You know, being in Europe, it's very accessible for other nations. For people from other countries to come and stay, work, whatever. So yeah, I mean, especially in London,
yes, London, you can find people from all over the world.
and that's why I love it. You know, I love London so much because, you know, I grew up in Leeds for the first 23 years of my life, and then I moved to London, and I just saw this like cultural diversity, and not just in nationalities. I'm talking about, you know, it's the first time I saw two men hold hands. It's the first time I saw a trans person, you know, or all this stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. And then you familiarize yourself with so many different identities, cultures, and voices, and you learn so much in the process as well. And another benefit of that is, you know, a lot of people don't like British food, but you're wrong, it's good food. But we get a lot of different cuisines from all over the world, so we get to try every part of life without having to leave the country, and that's one of the things I love about England.
How long did you live in London?
6 years I was there. So I went there to I just went there because I thought, why not, right? Like, I just want to go somewhere that I've not grown up. And then I started doing stand-up comedy while I was there, and I started learning to do journalism while I was there. I was studying journalism, like I had a normal job, and then I studied on the side. And for me, London was like, I don't want to get too spiritual on the interview, but it was like kind of where I found myself, really, where I awoke the person that I felt like I could always be. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I would live in London again. It's hectic.
Why?
It's hectic. And also, look at this. It's like, why are you going to go back to London, you know? It's like, you know, you're going to spend 5 times as much money. You're going to get rained on every day. There's no vibrancy. There's no, you know, so... But I'll always have a special place in my heart. So I love London, and I'm grateful for the time that I had there.
Yeah, it's amazing. So many things to do there, and I really like the. By the way, I really like the march of the people who care about the Queen.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's like a fairy tale. Like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes a special England, I
Yeah.
think.
And I think that's why I love it, especially London. It feels like you're in a fantasy.
Yeah,
You know?
it's fancy.
Like when you're a child and you dream about these little worlds that are not normal, and you go to London, it's got beautiful architecture. The Queen, if you're into the Queen. I'm not particularly... I don't care about the Queen. I hope a very happy life, but for me, she represents, you know, kind of a hierarchy, which is... It doesn't mean anything, you know. We pay... Anyway, let's not get political, but...
Okay.
Let's not get political.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, it's London's a fascinating city, and you feel like even if you're an adult, you feel like a small child when you're there, because it's
Yes.
so big and magical.
So many tourists obviously go to the Buckingham because
Palace, yeah.
yeah.
Me
so-
too. I went because it's like, wow, okay, yeah, cool. But for me, I liked more like the creative areas of London. Like, you had a place called South Bank, which is where all like the arty people go. Hoxton and Old Street, which is kind of where, you know, you'll meet graphic designers, stand-up comedians, photographers, cameramen, and women. So yeah, I loved the art and the creativity of London rather than the Queen.
Okay. England is famous for its music as well. You know, Ed Sheeran,
Yep.
Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa, so many singers from England.
Yeah.
So, which one do you feel that represent more to England nowadays?
Nowadays.
Because Beatles are, you know, so important.
The Beatles are important. Dua Lipa is my ex-girlfriend. We were together for
Okay.
I left her. I said, look, I can do better.
I wanna believe you.
No, please do, please do.
Okay.
I wish she was. I wish she was. But you got to say Ed Sheeran, really. He is. Adele. Adele is incredible.
Yeah, Adele as well.
She
Beautiful voice.
Incredible. For me, she's my favorite of the mainstream, of the popular kind of musicians. I think Adele is incredible. I love that she takes her time with making music. You know, she's not pushing out albums every year. She's like, hey, I'll make my music when I want. And just every time she brings out an album, every 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, she just nails it. Her voice is just like, wow, you know, it's incredible. And Ed Sheeran, you know, what he's done in terms of just kind of superstardom, whilst also being a very talented musician. I actually saw Ed Sheeran before he was famous in a bar in the north of England. It was in like a pub, you know, traditional pub. There was like 50 people, maybe 100 people. No one knew who he was. And then
Really?
He was kind of coming up, but he wasn't famous. And then like 5 years later, he was probably the biggest musician on the planet. So yeah, I'm very proud of the music that we make in England, and I think, in my opinion, we make the best music in the world, and I stand by that.
Okay.
You may disagree.
No, I really like, so I like all kind of music, so
Yeah.
no problem at all.
Yeah. You like the music here?
Yeah, of course.
Like the reggaeton?
Reggae, banda music,
Yeah.
region music,
Yeah.
mariachi, you know?
Yeah.
All kind of music. I don't even have any problem with the music. So I love dancing.
I think
Of course, I'm Latin.
that's one thing I'm.
It makes sense, right?
Exactly. That's one
So
thing.
do you
I'm-
like dancing?
See, that's a good question, and that's one thing I'm jealous of, because well, not every. I've got English friends that I don't dance. I just can't get in the zone.
Why?
No,
You
because-
need to try.
No, I did try. I've tried, but like I'm jealous in a way of how culturally normal it is for people in Mexico to express themselves through music and dance, and I think that's something you learn from a young age. Whereas in England, we're more conservative, you know, and I wish that wasn't the case. Like when I see the men and the women dancing, I'm like, I'm trying, like I'm in the background and I'm trying, and I'm like, I can't do this. This is
Another thing that I noticed especially in London, the people all the time are so serious. So I mean, if you are in the underground,
yeah.
nobody's talking. It's
No.
like all silent.
That's not the rule for every British. Like where I'm from in the north, I don't want to say we're more like Latin people. We're not, obviously not. But we're more warm. Our personalities are warm. We'll talk, we'll express ourselves, we'll sit on the bus and just chat and stuff like that. That kind of culture that you just described in England is very typical of the South. And London, really. It's very typical of kind of, you know, middle class British people who are just reading the news or looking at numbers. But I want to make it clear that not all of England is like that. In the north of England, we'll if we see you in the morning, we'll give you a hug, we'll have a chat, you know, and we're much warmer. And that's not a criticism of people in the south, but yeah, we're much warmer. So the city is much colder, but the people are much warmer. So, you know, we balance it out.
Yeah. Well, That happens.
Yeah.
I think here in Mexico it happens as well. That makes a country rich. You know,
Yeah.
the different kind
The
of
diversity.
people,
Yeah,
different kind of cultures.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, and it makes it enjoyable to travel around your own country because you get to see different parts and different attitudes. So,
So, Dan, do you have any message for anyone who wants to come to Mexico?
if you're thinking about coming to Mexico, stop thinking and start doing. It's one of the best countries I've ever been to, and I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of countries all around the world. The people here are beautiful, the food here is amazing, the weather is perfect, it's diverse, and don't believe what you see on the news. It's all rubbish. It's not. I've been here for 4 years. I've never had a problem. I've never felt unsafe. In fact, the quite opposite. People have always been kind and welcoming. So book a flight and get here, and I promise you won't regret it.
Thank you so much, Dan, for the interview. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. I absolutely enjoyed this. It was a great way to start my Sunday.
Guys, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much. See you in the next interview. Bye bye.